I'm Erica Nisborski, your host for Behind the Lens. On our program, we talk with noted photographers about their work. And today, I'm very pleased to have as my guest, Curtis Gibbens. Welcome to Behind the Lens.
I'm very pleased to be here.
Curtis Gibbens is an outdoor nature photographer whose primary interest is photographing wildlife. Although fascinated by photography, it was not a big part of his life until his first visit to Huntley Meadows Park, a wetland preserve in Alexandria, Virginia. On that first visit, he was drawn to birds he had never seen before and reptiles surrounding the half-mile boardwalk. And because of their appeal, he returned the next week with his father's 200mm lens and returned many times thereafter with his own camera. Today, although he has traveled to many places, Huntley Meadows Park remains his favorite shooting locale. Over the years, Curtis has received many awards from the prestigious Northern Virginia Photographic Society, as well as honorable mention in the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's National Wetlands Photo Contest, first place in Huntley Meadows Park Photo Contest, and Vendor's Choice Award in the 2010 Nature Visions Photography Expo. When asked why he loves wildlife and nature photography, Curtis often quotes one of his favorite photographers, Doug Gardner, by saying, "It's not just photography, it's the outdoor experience." As a wildlife photographer, what do you enjoy most about your outdoor experience?
I enjoy going out and seeing what I can find that day, and I think a day of photography is I'll either have a great day or a slow day, but never a bad day unless I break a lens.
Yeah. Is the D.C. area a good place to live and photograph wildlife?
Actually, I grew up in Northern Virginia, and I didn't like this area at all. But now, I'm very pleased with it. I can be in the mountains within a 2-hour drive, and then I can also be on the shore with a 2-hour drive, bringing many options to photograph.
Yeah, so although it's very congested, in this area, you have easy access to lots of different...
That's right, yeah, you have to leave early in the morning.
Yeah. Whose photography has inspired you?
I'd say one of my favorite is Jim Clark. He's not only a wildlife photographer or a nature photographer, he's an incredible landscape also, but he also is retired from the fish and wildlife, so he knows all the information of all the subjects.
All the species
that's
and
right.
all the details about them.
Yeah. He's well knowledgeable in that. And I just recently found Doug Gardner, who I really enjoy.
I know you've brought some of your own photographs with you today. Let's go over some of them now.
Okay.
So we have the first photograph here with the egrets.
That's right. Before I went to Huntley Meadows Park, I thought egrets were only in Florida and eagles were only in Alaska. But
You discovered that they're in more places.
That's right. Yeah, and a lot more species than I believed that were up here.
Tell us a little bit about taking this photo. What time of day was it?
This was one of my early morning shots where I get in usually just before sunrise, and that's a good time to catch a lot of birds like this, fishing.
Good light.
That's right, and not before the harsh sun would come in.
And about what time of year is this?
This would probably be around the fall time once it was starting to get more cool at night.
Before they probably migrated south.
That's right.
Yeah. And moving on to the next photo, we've got the green heron.
That's right. This is a bird I've learned about since I started photography. I've never noticed it before, but I see him in a lot of areas now. And right here, he was fishing and caught himself a tadpole. And
that's incredible. But how close were you to the bird?
Actually, this was at Huntley Meadows. many times they're real approachable. All you need to do is just stay on the boardwalk, and many times they'll be walking in front of you. But I've had other days where they're out in the far away.
And for those of us who haven't been out to Huntley Meadows, the animals there, they're used to people because
for the most part,
live?
Yeah, it's the first place I've ever been to a park like that.
They're all pretty comfortable having their photos taken.
Yeah.
As we move on here, we have this lush greenery with a snapping turtle, munching on some of the.
Yeah, it's another reason
clovers.
why I like Huntley Meadows Park, because I grew up looking for reptiles in the creek, collecting turtles and snakes and jars and stuff like that. And this is the first time I've ever seen a wild snapping turtle. I've only seen them in pet stores before this, but now I see they're real common, not just Huntley Meadows, but other places I go, and they're usually. It's been many mornings I've seen over 5.
Wow. And so how do you stumble across this? I mean, for a lot of people, he might just blend into the green.
Oh. Yeah, this turtle was real big, so it was easy for that. But many of them are hard to find. I used to have one of my friends that used to live up here that I'd meet over there. He had good eyes and could show me the green snakes that would hide in those green plants, which I have a hard time finding now.
Yeah.
Since he moved.
Moving on. We have this barn swallow in mid-flight here, going to feed. It looks like the younger.
That's right. Those
birds.
were
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Those birds were born that year. They're probably a couple months old now. They're out of the nest, and it was just me and probably 6 other people lined up on the boardwalk, getting their shots when the mother bird was coming in and feeding them. And so I took many shots, and this is one of the few that I kept.
Do you go back? Like, did you visit this nest again? Did you get to see the birds?
Yeah, I went there probably a couple weekends in a row. Yeah.
And with the wings flapping here, what kind of settings did you have your camera on to achieve that?
I had on very fast. That was my 200 to 400 zoom lens, and I probably.
And that's an f4 lens.
That's right. That's right. And I probably had it set at f4 so I can catch the shot and have the background out of focus.
And that's a pretty big lens. I mean, that lens weighs about 10 pounds almost.
Yeah, I don't think, I'm not sure how much.
What, are you using like a monopod, or how
No,
are
I
you
have
stabilizing?
a tripod. I did have a real heavy tripod back when I shot slides a number of years ago, but I messed up my back. So then when I got a digital camera, I got a lighter tripod, and I was hoping, with the digital I can shoot faster than I could with my slides. But I noticed that my digital images were not nearly as sharp as my slides were, and it was because of my tripod.
Right.
So I broke down and bought a real nice tripod.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it does.
You're able to achieve images.
That's right. And if you're going to shoot wildlife, I recommend a good tripod. Just go ahead, spend the money, and that will be your investment. Your images will be your investment.
Worth it.
Yes.
As we move on here, we've got this.
It's a Cercopia moth. I've never seen one. I think this is the only time I've ever seen one that I remember in the wild. Someone else pointed that out to me, but I probably would have caught sight of it because it was probably about this big.
About how many inches would you say? About 6 to 8 inches in length?
Probably 6 or so.
Wow, that's beautiful. When you think of a moth, you don't think of them looking like this. And the background is very painterly.
Actually, the wind was blowing real heavy that day. because I'm not sure how I got the lines back there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you messing with your focus plane, or like
No,
how?
I did have it set at a low or I did have it set at a fast shutter speed.
Low apertures that could
That's
also
right.
achieve that painterly look in the background.
That's right.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
Yeah, thank you.
As we move on, we have this mallard.
Yeah,
mallard duck
it's
swimming.
it's
Looks like he's
what
flying out of the water.
Yeah, that's right. He's it's just to show that I haven't given up on ducks when I've seen all the other birds that I've never seen before.
Something like this, I mean, you don't know when he's going to take off. You must be,
No, actually, I've learned
out.
over the years they'll tilt their neck, they'll look up, and then
So
I
you
know
know that
I'm
moment.
ready to shoot. I'll have my finger on the trigger button.
So about how long would you wait for a photo like this?
I wouldn't wait too long, but I was probably standing there for about maybe about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. And you're focused in here on the one mallard, but were there others around? Or
There were others around, and actually I had to clone out a duck in the background to make this
and so yeah,
image
with your
look nice.
with your Photoshop skills, you are doing some stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right.
What about how long does that take you post production?
I don't do too much. I took a basic class for Photoshop, and I took down all the steps, and I basically just go through the steps that I learned. I don't know a great deal about Photoshop, but I believe I've like what
you know what you need to do.
That's
and
right.
You go in there and you get it done, and a lot of your photographs, I'm sure, are pretty good off the bat. You don't have to do too much.
No, not to spend hours.
Yeah. But you don't just do wildlife, you also do landscapes.
Yeah, I do landscape, and I do enjoy it. I just am not as pleased with as like I am with my wildlife shots.
So moving on here, we have the fishing pier.
That's right. This is at Leesylvania State Park down in Woodbridge, Virginia. And this is another place I enjoy going to in the late spring or in springtime. It's actually when the osprey are nesting right beside the pier.
You have this wider shot here. Were you using a telephoto, or do you
No,
have,
I didn't use a telephoto that time.
Yeah. What kind of lens were you using here?
I had a wider. I have a wider lens now. It's 16 to 30 to 35, but that was before that time. I believe there was some lens around
Something
there.
wider,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice. Sunsets are hard to shoot. Do you have any advice on that?
I had to meter on the. I believe I metered on the red sky and made that.
And that really
probably a
brought out
-3 or so it'd be a little darker. And
pretty much silhouetting the pier.
that's right. And
nice.
this was taken a couple years ago. I probably another thing I might have done was spot meter the pier and then go down 2 stops, and so it would be that would render black without completely going overexposed.
And moving on here, we have the great blue heron
That's
silhouetted behind the sunset there on the
That's
water.
right. This was a different morning, but the same place, and I was one of the first people there, and I was able to get his shot.